Ah, come on! Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Haunt Ventures with Melissa and Jason. We are making a full body costume, and we're making all these molds in the class. They're all numbers carved from the skin, and got everything. That's basically what it's going to look like. It's a really thin piece of latex that we poured into it. So that is the result of this one. You can see it looks really super cool. This isn't exactly how we paint it. We're going to be using an airbrush to do this, but it's going to be going onto this morph suit, one of those full body latex suits that zip right up over top of you and cover you from head to toe, literally. And we're making a whole bunch of component pieces. So here's one of the pieces. This is going to go on the back. It's pretty epic. So this is sculpted right now. And we're going to be pouring the Ultra Cal 30 over it, making a cast so we can pour the latex appliance. And to sculpt that, we're using our Monster Maker's clay. Now, this stuff is an oil-based clay. You can get it's really hard. So right now it's super soft, but it's because it's been put in the microwave to heat it up and soften it. But you can also get a water-based clay, which is soft right from the get-go. But the difference between this and the water-based clay is this you can use and do a project over time and not worry about it drying. With the water-based clay, you have to finish it in one day or else it'll dry out on you and start cracking. We're gonna try a new thing here. We usually just pour it right inside, but we're gonna try brushing it on like a thin coat right over top, just to really get in all the cracks and make sure we don't have any bubbles in it or any air bubbles. So we're just using a cheap brush because we may have to throw it away, but we're gonna try to wash it out so we can use it many times. And we're just putting this Ultra Cal mix right over top of the oil-based clay that we have. Oh, and another thing we did was we built a wall all the way around with the plasticine as well. And if you can see, it's basically above the highest point of the spine, so that when we pour the remaining of the Ultra Cal in here and fill this thing right up, we're gonna have a nice solid block, like this for example, a nice solid block to pour our latex in and make our latex appliances. So another tip, you have about 3 minutes to work with this stuff. So, and you, Melissa, can you mix or can you put Ultra Cal over top of Ultra Cal that's slightly dried?
Yes, yeah, you can.
So again, the reason we're doing this is to try to eliminate as much as possible any air bubbles and basically brush on a thin coat of the Ultra Cal. So over here, we're mixing up the remaining of the Ultra Cal in a large pail. This is like a large, probably like 3 or 4 gallon pail. And just mix in. And then we're gonna pour this inside the mold, and it's gonna take about 45 minutes to dry before we can peel off the clay and start putting latex in it. So you want to make sure that you get all these air bubbles out. You can see them all right there. So you're mixing it in with your hands, getting all the lumps out. And those lumps are dry clumps of the Ultra Cal 30. So you want to make sure they're all out. And then when we're done doing that, we have about 3 minutes to work with it. So we're gonna tap it on the ground and get all these air bubbles out, bring them to the surface and pop them. You can either pop them with water, or you can pop them by just tapping your hand on top. So we're doing this process just before we are mixing our large batch, which is going on at the same time as this is being applied on. So you can start to see the shape. So we know that we got a real nice thin coat of Ultra Cal on this spine, and we're not gonna have any bubbles, so pretty cool. We're ready for that whenever you're ready.
Yeah,
Sweet, that's good. Yep, all the bubbles are out. That's what we're looking for. Okay, awesome. Now we're gonna pour it right in. And you want to pour on an edge first, so you're not pouring directly on, because what'll happen is it'll trap bubbles underneath. So pour in one spot, let it run down. And you can pour along the edges if you want, if you need to move around. So as long as you're on the edges. Sweet.
So chunky.
That's alright, that's alright. It's going to be a little chunky because it dries quickly. You have about 3 minutes to work with it, right? So you want to try to avoid pouring it directly on the spine, but try to do it around the edges if possible. Here's a quick tip I learned along the way is to take burlap and just put burlap over the wet Ultra Cal 30, and that way it creates, not only it sort of makes the mold when it's dry a lot more solid. If it was to ever crack, it would still hold together with this mesh, but you could put more Ultra Cal over top of this and it would create a good bond because you have all this texture here, right? If you never needed to thicken your mold up, for example. Here, like maybe it's too thin in this area possibly because we didn't build the wall high enough, you know, because it's kind of sloping down, right, in a valley here. So that's as high as we could go with the Ultra Cal. So maybe it's too thin here. So in the future, after this is dry, we could build this area up with some Ultra Cal just to toughen this mold up. I hope you guys are enjoying Haunt Ventures, and I hope you're learning something. I hope we're inspiring you to do awesome things of your own. And please share your ideas with us and let us know your successes and what's going on. Thanks guys for watching Haunt Ventures, and please subscribe.